Hi all, I have another interesting game to show you from the Altibox Norway tournament. This was in round 8. Hikaru Nakamura playing against Sergey Karjakin. So c4, the English opening. We see knight f6, knight c3, e5, knight f3, knight c6. So this is the English 4 knights because the 4 knights are out. A sharper alternative, this is a crazy line which apparently has been played quite a bit, with b5 here, d3, ed. This is a really crazy line that's been played apparently. But anyway, we have the 4 knights, knight c6 here, g3, bishop b4, bishop g2, both sides castle. Black plays e4, knight g5, bishop takes c3, b takes c3. So this is a standard well-known position. Black has incurred structural damage on white. Will this bishop be useful later on c1? Rook e8, f3, e takes, and now we see white has dynamic pressure on the f file potentially. Knight takes f3, d5, which you might think is counterintuitive to help white undouble, but black is trying to get squares in the center, control of the center more with pieces. White ignores that and plays a kind of gambit of the c4 pawn here. Black plays d takes c4, which is very interesting. It releases some potential lockdown on e4. In live book there's knight e4 as it seems the major move here. For example, queen c2, and only now take on c4 maybe, and then reinforce the knight. And there's a sort of blockade against this e4 use by white. So white can never push through e4, well, not for quite some time unless something strange happens. But this is an energetic way to undermine e4, which apparently, this might be an interesting variation. So after knight e5, knight takes, bishop takes, we can have this very sharp line where white has an advantage still with a move like rook b5. Yeah, it's very, very dangerous, this position, this tactical move. It gets a bit hair-raising. So if takes rook f7, so if the rook's switching across, this is very dangerous for black. So anyway, so knight e4 does appear to be the more trodden move. So we see here d takes c4, and it's interesting to me, why this game is interesting, is how white can construct first an aggressive pawn center. He plays bishop g5 after h6, gives up the light square and the dark square bishop for light square pressure now after queen takes, knight d2 hitting the queen and preparing e4 to try and get an aggressive pawn chain, and the use of the e4 square. You see after e4, knight a5, e5. This is a very aggressive looking pawn chain. Black's clinging on to his pawn, but at some cost here. There is some downside here. White can use the e4 square, the queen can switch in. I personally like the look of this position very much. As an attacking player, I think that there is a lot of compensation here. Bishop e6, knight e4, rook a8, and now queen h5. It seems very natural white's play, and black is still not ready to crash white's center, to collapse white's center. c5 is under control here. Black plays b5, and now a very interesting move from Nakamura, which is very, very good. Can you see what white plays if I give you 5 seconds to pause the video? So check your attacking skills from this position. What do you think Nakamura played? Really good move. Okay, knight f6 check. Black actually played king h8, offering the exchange for a pawn. He's a pawn up already. But if black takes, let's look at the critical question. Then not e takes, although this might seem a little bit dangerous. After this, white apparently has nothing better than just to take on b5. How this works is really here, works wonderfully here with the idea of rook takes h6. For example, queen f8, rook takes h6, black tries to parry the h8 square, but now bishop e4 is the killer with the threat of rook h7. And so if we take this further, this kind of line where black has to give up the queen, it's not looking too good. And there's even tactics like e6 and d5. So that would be devastating So knight f6, ingenious attacking move, justified if you check the concrete variations. King h8, and here now it seems the nice option of taking on e8. In fact, guess what was played? Okay, d5. Apparently, white can also play this position in different ways. White can actually calmly just keep the knight on f6 and just double rooks, for example, like this, put the pressure on. But so d5 resolves things. It clarifies the position with a lot of exchanges after bishop takes. There's a choice of 2 rooks now for the knight. The knight chose the e8 rook. White's the exchange up. Now queen takes f7. So white is the exchange up, and the smoke's cleared a bit. And here we go into this scenario. So black has at the moment 2 pawns for the exchange. However, these pawns after b4, they're not really going anywhere. That's just ignored. Treble pawns, but they're going to be scooped up. One scooped up, another, and all the other pawns are being scooped up here. And that just leaves a rawer situation of being the exchange up with black having no extra pawns now. This is just winning. After g4, white's going to play things like g5 and stuff. So a very interesting game concept, I thought, and shows how that departure from the main move, it seems from the evidence of this game, could be punished with this plan: bishop g5, taking on f6 and constructing the centre with knight d2, e4, e5. To me, it was very aesthetically pleasing, the attacking position that resulted, and it's great to know that the actual concrete variations really support the knight f6 sacrifice. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as me. Comments, questions, likes, shares appreciated. Thanks very much.